£7 exactly.
Oh, I like it when it's exact.
Well, it's not enough.
It's out of season.
Had that before.
Oh, it's very simple.
Delicious.
I hope so.
Marvellous, really lovely.
Has turned out well. I mended Andrew.
Yes, I saw. You never noticed?
Well, it wasn't difficult. Don't be upset. You couldn't help it. It needs to be weighted like the others.
I'll slip in a piece of lead. This really is good. How clever you are, Isabella.
Not clever at all. How were they all tonight?
Oh, the same. Well, Mr. Palamountain is getting deafer. Young Graham is leaving.
Leaving?
Going to Canada.
Don't think of Canada as being a place of glaziers.
Twice the money, they say. Oh, Mrs. Ringett died. Slipped away during her tea time nap.
Nice way to go.
Well, they tend to go nicely after 90.
As we shall, Henry. Oh, we shall live a long, long time. Happy people do, they say.
Do they?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Mr. Palamountain's niece is coming to look after him. Widowed or some such, I understand.
A home for her.
Oh, her need and is, I dare say.
Do you know, I dreamed that. That Mr. Palamountain's niece was coming. 3 nights ago. I even meant to tell you. A dreadful woman.
Dreadful?
Gross and vulgar. After his money.
Oh, they say he hasn't got much.
Enough, apparently. Isn't it extraordinary to have a dream like that? She shouldn't be allowed to come to a town like this. You said in my dream. Out after an old man's money. Made you angry. Like it really would.
Oh, I'm sure Mr. Palamountain's niece isn't like that at all.
It'll be interesting to see.
It won't work, you know.
He knows which side his bread is buttered.
So does she. It'll never take, all the same. Mr. Palamountain's niece, we were saying it would never take. He can be tricky, you know.
Look, I didn't say it would never take. What I said was...
Let's hear, Henry, dear. Do you think it'll take, Henry?
Oh, I dare say.
You will do.
Well then, come on, my girl. Come on.
Evening, Mr. Palamountain.
Henry, my niece, Mrs. Emily Troop. Henry Ridout, my dear, our landlord.
How do you do, Mrs. Troop?
Mr. and Mrs. Adequate.
How do you do?
Mr. Bast. Mr. G, old Tom. Here, Mrs. We are friends of the dartboard. Then, my dears, you'd like a drink, eh?
A gin and pep, why not?
A gin?
Gin and pep, Uncle.
A gin and pepper, Henry.
Peppermint. What a charming place.
Well, it's quiet this time of season.
But nicer, surely. Nicer to have it quiet.
Well, we need the visitors.
You would, of course. Cheers.
Cheers. Emily's come to look after me.
Not that you need looking after, Uncle.
You need looking after when you're my age.
I'm really going to like it here.
He married above himself. The child of the old public house he was. She was quite the great lady. You'd see him about the place together when they weren't meant to be, lurking about the boats, up on the cliffs. She had a governess woman, a real old tartar. Hated Isabella being friends with him, but in the end he married her, of course.
And children? Have they children?
No, bless you, no.
Mrs. Ridout. What's Mrs. Ridout like?
Beautiful. Beautiful child, beautiful woman. Isabella, she looks just like an Isabella. Ever so pretty in her dresses, Isabella was.
It's a peculiar type of name.
They had a place they used to go to, an old orchard by the church beyond the graveyard. They used to play there. No one ever went there except themselves.
Childhood sweethearts. Childhood sweethearts!
They're in their childhood still, Henry and Isabella. I've heard that said about them. Her family turned on him because of something the governess said. Something was happening that the governess was aware of. They were falling in love with one another, even though they were children.
Well, I never. Sounds most peculiar.
They love one another now, no different from that. You see them walking along the shore, up on the cliffs, doing a bit of mackerel fishing. He thinks the world of her. There's no one in this town thinks as much of a woman as Henry Ridout thinks of his wife.
It's funny not having kiddies.
Their dream came true, you might say. Her family moved away, you know, disowning her when she married him. Not a penny, they said, and they stuck to it. So down she comes in the world, and there she is, at the Eagle's Rest. She don't ever enter the bar. To this day, she couldn't pull a glass of beer for you. He wouldn't let her, see?
Sounds fascinating, Mrs. Ridout does.
She's a good woman.
Good night, Henry.
Good night, my dear.
She says you're not to hang around. She doesn't like you hanging round me.
Those gulls are building a nest.
I'm talking about my governess. There's that boy hanging round, she said when we came out of the draper's. Isabella's playing with a common boy, she said at lunchtime. Are you, my mother asked?
If you don't want to play with me, you don't have to. You don't have to, Isabella. You don't have to.
Come back, Henry! Come back!
I thought you were perhaps unmarried when I met you last night, Mr. Ridout. There's a chap, I said to myself, has the look of a man who isn't married.
No, I am married, Mrs. True.
Yes, I know. I did discover from my uncle. But you get what I mean. I mean, you look at a person. Well, I mean, you're curious.
No, I'm married, Mrs. True.
I was married myself. He died of a heart thing. Least expected, just like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He giveth, he taketh away. And, you have no children, Mr. Ridout?
No.
Mine have fled the nest. 18 and 20. Would you ever think it? Grown-up children? I'm 39.
No.
You haven't the look of a father. I said that too. Nah, he's not a father, I said. Well, you can always tell a thing like that.
No, I'm not a father.
Well, just as well, perhaps. Sharp as a serpent's tooth, you know the thing. Still, they can bring a joyfulness too. Your wife doesn't come into the bar then, Mr. Ridout?
No.
But you go for walks. I must look out for you. Handsome couple you must be. I've been hearing your story.
Story?
Childhood sweethearts and all that. It's very lovely. I love the quietness here. It's always quiet in the mornings, I'd say.
Oh, until the summer.
Well, if I were your beautiful wife, I think I'd keep you company all the same. Never know who might come wandering in. Hey?
Well, my wife has a lot to do in the house.
Looking after you.
Yeah, I suppose.
I should imagine you take quite a lot of looking after.
Oh, no more than any other man.
Oh, I'd say you do. I'd say you're often hungry.
I'm no hungrier than...
Oh, yes. I'd say so. There's hunger and hunger, you know. Hey?
I waited him.
Henry, look. I want to call him Thomas.
My darling, he's beautiful.
Mr. Roach found him in London for us. He knew we'd have him.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, he really is gorgeous.
Oh, I knew you'd like him. But then there's this. My dear, I think you had a drop too much again. The edge of your jacket brushed the table. I found him here this morning.
I'm sorry.
Well, try not to. He suffered before, this little chap. Look, you waited him.
Yeah.
I'll mend him. I've bought us Eccles cakes for tea. We haven't been mackerel fishing, Henry. Not for ages. Shall we go soon? May we, Henry?
Let's see you get aboard. She'll be all right.
Are you sure you're not all going to regret this terribly?
Keep the wrist
Oh,
straight.
Right,
And then get
right, okay, here goes. Oh, no, that's good. It was all right.
Let's try one more.
Settled in, has she, Mr. Palamountain? Your niece. Settled in, has she?
Chap in the ironmongery nice she was married to.
No more advice
Like
then.
a knight.
Okay.
Two more, Henry.
Could be worse.
And a drop for Mr.
Look
Palamountain.
at the applause.
Selling chicken while he was apparently.
Try one to the
He
left.
cut it off 14 yards for a Mrs. Pedman.
Beautiful.
I'll check the price for Henry, he said. And then he cut
You got to hold it up a bit.
up like a
is that
knight on
the
top of the chicken wire.
Yeah.
Funny way to go.
That's it. Tug it.
Whoa up there, Henry!
Another trick.
You had a drop too much again. You're clumsy when you're like that, Henry. Knocking things about.
No, come along.
Tell me what I am.
You're good, Isabella.
The good are complicated.
All people are
The
complicated.
bad are to a penny.
And you're beautiful as well.
I was happy. We were running on the beach and I was happy, Henry. We were in our orchard.
Yes, of course we were.
The seagulls still as statues. The apple blossoms, Henry.
Now you must go back to bed.
No, then I'll dream.
Oh, close the window, dear.
Oh, don't you love it? Don't you love the sea as much as we always did? All our lives, Henry.
Yes, of course, but it's cold with the window open, dear.
You always say that. Do you remember that storm when you were little? When we watched the waves coming over the wall? The shingle thrown up on the promenade? And that old woman was washed away. You cried because of that?
My dear, you'll be cold. You must go back to bed.
In my dream, there was a heaven. There was the sea closing together again and there was a heaven. You and I as we were. Do you remember that? how we were, and how they hated you, because it wasn't right for children to be in love.
Look, let's not remember it all now, eh?
You listened when I told you about my governess. You laughed and laughed. Do you remember that? How you'd laugh and listen on the beach, and then again in our orchard. And then you'd be solemn, tell me about the Eagle's Rest, when no one had time for you. Your father gave you glasses to wash up, and your mother didn't care. You must not drink so.
I don't, Isabella.
You lurch and knock things over.
No, Isabella.
You destroy things, Henry.
No.
Why do you always tell me lies? It's nothing but lies all the time. Lies, lies, lies all our life, Henry.
They're not lies. We keep a secret, that's all.
Every night I dream of it again.
You must try not to.
Cannot try. Why did you destroy it all, Henry? Every walk we went on together, every conversation. On the beach, you used to take my hand, you remember? We walked by the edge of the sea and we climbed the cliffs to the orchard where the apple trees were forgotten. Do you remember that, Henry? I was too young to be destroyed. There was sunshine in our orchard. Don't you even remember that, Henry? The sea far down below us and the sky as blue as a cornflower. Oh, close your eyes, Henry.
Oh, please, Isabella.
Oh, God, black boughs. Oh, God. The pink of the petals.
Oh, God, please. Oh, God. Oh, God, please.
And suddenly the pink was hideous.
Oh, God, please.
The grass that grew was suddenly dead. The trees were faces out of hell. Lunacy, Henry. Madness, Henry. A child gone mad. A mind that wouldn't work because it was frightened, Henry. Terrified.
No.
Only the sea was gentle, whispering to us. But you preferred to keep a secret. A child gone mad. A child gone mad.
You're not. You're not.
How will we keep a secret?
Hello.
Oh, morning, Mrs. Trevor.
I just slipped in for an early. Hair of the animal, Mr. Ridout.
Oh, gin and peppermint, eh?
Mm-hmm. Make it a biggish one. Have something yourself, Mr. Ridout?
Oh, no, thank you.
Good morning, Mrs. Ridout.
Good morning.
Mr. Palamountain's niece, Mrs. Troop.
I've mended him, Henry.
She's beautiful, your wife. Change your mind.
Sorry?
Hair of the animal, Mr. Ridout.
Oh, no.
Cigarette.
No, I don't smoke.
Ah, well. Goodbye, Mr. Ridout.
Goodbye.
Well, I shall still be around. But you know what I mean.
You like it?
Delicious.
It's the other recipe. Oh, Mrs. Marsh's.
Oh.
Mr. G left in some sole.
Yes, he said he would.
Oh dear, you look tired.
Yes, I am a little.
Better looking woman than I thought she'd be. The old man's niece. Don't let them take me away.
She buys china figures. It's I who break 'em, so we say. It's all pretense. My God, do you know what it's like, living in a pretense like that?
Good night, Henry. Well, what do you think happened? Sleep tight, my dear. What do you expect to happen next? It was a woodpecker, see? The bloke got mixed up with a woodpecker.
Mr. Palamountain, time please.
Come on, Henry's closing up.
It's meant to be funny, see? It's meant to be a joke. He takes his young lady out and he gets this woodpecker interfering. You see? I mean, no young chap would like it, getting mixed up with a woodbird.
Good night, Henry.
Heavens above.
Why not?
Your wife?
It's a year.
Oh, love.
Young chap wanting 2 cheese sandwiches.
You're going to have your baby, Henry.
You're a clever woman, Mrs. Ridout. And lucky.
Well, he wanted a child, and it was something I could give him. Come in, Henry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What on earth's that?
That's a gin and pep. Take your daughter, Henry.
Well, maybe everyone gets away with it at 41. Is it, Doctor?
No, no. Margaret Ann. No, no, Margaret Ann.
All right, my love?
Oh, I couldn't get the herrings. Oh, they haven't had herring all week, apparently. Well, how's Margaret Ann, eh?
Ever so good she's been. Isn't she?
I'll get you tea.
Called to see Dr. Percival.
Yes.
He says the same. He wants you to take her to see this other chap.
Oh, some blooming psycho.
Oh, it's for the best. Just to be on the safe side, Dr. Percival said. Now, you be a good girl with the doctor, Margaret Ann, eh? Answer all his questions.
My love. Come on. There's nothing the matter, he said. Nothing whatsoever.
Dr. Percival said the same, remember?
It's you, Henry. She's only like it when you're here.
Me?
She's perfectly all right. You have an effect on her.
You mean she...
You trouble her, Henry.
I love her. I wouldn't hurt a scrap
She's
of her.
perfectly all right when you're not here. But she senses something in you, Henry. Hurry up.
Hello, my darling. There now, little thing.
I once knew a young fellow who could balance himself on the end of a pin.
What's the matter?
Don't you hear it?
There's nothing. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Margaret Ann, Mrs. Etiquette?
No, dear.
Has Margaret Ann been here, Henry?
No.
What's the trouble with her?
She's searching for the kiddie.
Margaret Ann! Margaret Ann!
Why did you?
Why did I?
I could never not love you. Even though you never once took the weeds from the grave. Even though you did that terrible thing.
Did it to be kind. I swear, I did it to be kind.
Be kind again. The sea has always been our friend. We've always loved the sea, Henry.
Oh, God.
It's my love that whispers to you. And my forgiveness. I want you so. I couldn't help being what I was. I'm sorry, Henry, but I couldn't help it.
Of course not. Of course not.
I thought you were killing me that day in the orchard. That's when death began. Mine. And
Please.
yours, Henry.
Leave us alone. I'll tend the grave.
I love you, Henry.
I'll do anything.
My love will always whisper to you through your child.
Still good for me.
Same again, Emily, love. Same again, darling.
Of course it is, my dear.
There you are, my dear.
Thank you.